Here we go. Top 10 albums of 2019. Not top 10, top 5. Sorry. I'm tired. I need sleep. Here we go. Honorable mention NF, Andy Mineo. His project of all the unreleased albums was very good this year. Was all unreleased songs. Gosh, I can't talk. Bunch of unreleased songs that he had over the years. He put into one album. That was pretty good. I'm not going to count that though because it's not really like a new album. It's just a bunch of older stuff. That's a lot of it's been leaked and everything. So nothing. I won't really count that there, but I still don't think that would have applied because these top five were very good. It was very tough to pick it down to five, but this was a good year for music, guys. This was a good year for music. We're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Number five is "The Search" by NF. I don't think it was as good as Perception, but The Search was a great album. NF is very good. And the song "Leave Me Alone" is the best one off this album, in my opinion. It was kind of the one of the highest advertised releases from the album when it first came out. But man, this song, that was a great song. But the album, NF is just consistent. Like it's weird. There's never a lot of songs that I'm like, whoa, this is the best thing I've ever heard. But there's never any like, dang, this is pretty bad. It's like it's just good all the way across. Which some people would prefer that, and some people wouldn't. But like, there's all of his albums never really have any bad songs. But this was a good album and very consistent all the way through. And the fact that he outsold Chance the Rapper with one feature on the whole thing, it's crazy, especially because I hate Chance the Rapper so much. So seeing NF outsell him was crazy. I remember no one thought NF had a chance. No one. I mean, it is. I mean, he's a big name. I mean, Perception was a big album. It wasn't number one, but like, it was one of the lowest selling number one releases in the album in Billboard history for the albums. So nobody was expecting this album to beat Chance the Rapper's The Big Day at all. But the Big Day sucks as the Chance the Rapper, and The Search outsold it. Everyone was happy in the world. Great time. The Search is a great album. Obviously, the title song, The Search, is great. Leave Me Alone is great. Time is great. And what's the one called? I can't remember. This song has like 22 songs. This album has like 22 songs. It's hard to keep up. But that is my number five album, The Search by NF. Number four. Now The Search was kind of the guaranteed fifth one. And these top four, you could put any of them at number four. Any of them at four through one. They can be switched regardless. There's not a dead set number one, in my opinion. I wouldn't complain if you put any of these at number one. But number four, we're going with Igor by Tyler the Creator. And the best part about this album is, besides the song Earthquake, which was just gigantic, and I still don't know why, because like Tyler the Creator's not a big singles guy, but Earthquake was great. But like other than that, most people can't even name a song of this album, but they love the album. Like this is a concept album, and this is not an album you can pick different songs. You have to listen to this from one through, I think it's 9 songs, 10 songs, I can't remember. You have to listen to it all the way through. But the highlights were New Magic Wand, A Boy Is a Gun, and Earthquake for me were all three really good. And I don't remember the name of it, but This Time It's For Real. I think I've fallen in love. This Time It's For Real. That one's a really good one. This is just a consistent album all the way through, and I do think Earthquake is one of my favorite songs of the year. In my top 10 songs of the year, Earthquake will definitely be in there. But like, it's just consistent all the way through, and he's so good at telling stories through an album. Like, he's not a guy that if they're like, what Tyler the Creator song should I check out? You don't be like, oh, listen to this song. You just have to recommend a full album because like the album is like kind of one big song that all connects. Great album, and the little intermissions, not intermissions, something like yeah interludes. Sorry, golly, intermissions. They're not separate songs. They're just like 10-second clips of him talking at the end of the song, and it flows perfectly into the next one. Just a very well done album. This is my favorite Tyler the Creator album. But like I said, if you put this at number one, I would not complain. So we're gonna go on to number three, the most hyped album of the year, the best experience run album of the year, and that is Jesus is King. This album is just spectacular. And I am a Christian rap fan. I love it a lot. Eddie Minnie on Lecrae, KB, they're all great. Nobody ever gives them credit. And everybody was like, whoa, guys, Christian rap exists. And I was like, yeah, you need to look at these other 12,000 songs that I have that you should listen to. But it was just so fun. Like, Kanye has always been a popular artist, but he has his own set of fans that kind of are separate from most people. Like, they're not mainstream fans. But this album it broke the record for all-time streams in the first 12 hours of an album being out because it's I live in the South, so like there's almost most people are Christians around here, and seeing every old person or like anyone over the age of 30 that never listens to rap, they were just going crazy. Like I've never seen a rap album blow up this fast and hit such a wide audience Like the album went number one by a long. It was. I mean, it was just crazy popular. But even if you just take out the experience of watching like everyone go crazy, also how many times it was delayed. I remember people were asking about it like on the first day of October would it come out. There was people like, I think it's going to be the first day of October, and it just kept get pushed back, pushed back. And then he said, all right, it's coming out tonight at midnight. And I remember just checking Twitter at 12:10. Everyone was just like, oh man, it's not out. What the heck? What is he doing? One person said, I think it's just an exclusive release on Tidal again. That was pretty funny. But it finally came out, like, I remember it was about 12:30 that day, and just everyone went nuts. Same day as Call of Duty came out, too, Modern Warfare. So, like, everyone was just playing this on speakers while playing Modern Warfare. It was just a fun time to be in college because you just heard this album everywhere. But the highlights for this one, best song on this album is On God, by far. That is the best beat off this album. That might be the best beat of 2019 on any rap song, any art, whatever you want to call it. This album is not one specific genre. It's 80 different things. But the highlights are On God for sure. Use This Gospel is great. If you get Pusha T on a Christian track, man, it's good. The saxophone solo, it's perfection. Closed on Sunday is a weird one. That's a song I still can't decide if I love or hate. Some days I think it's the best song off the album, and some days I think it's the worst. But it's a great one. God is great, and Selah is a great one too. I don't really skip any songs besides Clean. That's about the only one I kind of skip when I listen to this album. But man, it's great. The number two, like I said, any of these could be 1 through 4. But number two, I have When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go by Billie Eilish. Um, wow, a 17-year-old dropping one of the best albums, my favorite albums of all time. It's crazy. Last week we flew to New York, and I listened to this whole album just straight through on the plane. It's like, man, there's just not a bad song on here. I listened to every song on this album, but the highlight for me is like how consistent it is. Like I've been saying, it's just good all the way through. There's never any like bad song. I'm like, I'll skip this one. Come on, go to the next one. My least favorite song is probably Bad Guy, just because how much I've heard it, and I still love that song. Like this is just a great album all the way through, and for a 17-year-old to release this is ridiculous. And it catapulted her into like superstardom. Like she is a top 5 most popular singer on the planet today just because of how much this album blew up. So consistent, and it actually knocked Igor out of the number one spot for album. Like they came out so close together. I think Igor was number one for the week, and the very next week I think When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go took number one. But this is just a great album. It's so weird. Like I can't name another artist like Billie Eilish. Lorde is the closest one, but Lorde has kind of not done anything in a while, like that I've noticed, because I was never a big Lorde fan. But like, man, this album is so good. You got to check it out if you haven't by now. But the highlights for me are Bury a Friend is great. Wish You Were Gay is very good as well. And You Should See Me in a Crown. Those are probably the 3 best songs on this album. If I had to pick my least favorite one, take out like how much I've heard it, I would say Zanny is my least favorite one. But like even that song, like I will still listen to it and not complain. It's just a good album all the way through. It's so different. It's a breath of fresh air if you listen to a lot of music like I do, because it's never like it's repetitive, because no one else does music like this besides her at the moment, at least. A great album. Also, her new single, Everything I Wanted, is great as well. And I'm looking at tickets to go see her in Nashville in March. We'll see how that goes out. Number one, I'm going to get some hate because I've been told it's a radio plays. But Hollywood's Bleeding by Post Malone. Dang, this album is so good. You just got to think. Of course, some of them came out a little bit beforehand, but that was advertising. But this album has only been out for 4 months, and it's already got Sunflower, Wow, Circles, and Goodbye, which are 4 crazy popular and crazy good songs. And also, the best song on this album is probably Take What You Want with Ozzy Osbourne and Post Malone. And a lot of people say Post Malone is just for radio hits, and some of his songs are, but I'm not complaining because I like radio songs. I listen to all kinds of music, and man, it's great. But Take What You Want. Gosh, Ozzy Osbourne and Travis Scott, who thought that together? That's a great one. Saint Tropez is phenomenal as well. That's another big one that's really popular. Enemies with DaBaby is great. The most underrated song is Die For Me with Future and Halsey. No one talks about that song. Gosh, it is so good. And On the Road with Lil Baby and Lil Baby and Meek Mill is great as well. And if I had to choose the worst song on here, I would probably say it's Staring at the Sun with SZA. Gosh, this song just sucks. Like, awful. Probably the worst song of any 5 of these albums, in my opinion. That one's not great. That's about the only. I skip Allergic and 1,000 Bad Times every time. And that's the thing. Some of these albums, like The Search and When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go, is just consistent all the way through. This album is not consistent, but there's so many just big ones. That's what I like about Post Malone, is so many different types of songs. Like Like The Search, there's not many bad ones because NF has his formula and he sticks to it and it works. Hollywood's Bleeding, he tried so many different things, and there's just something for everyone on this album. Circles might be on its way to being Post Malone's most popular song at the moment. That's already almost 500 million Spotify plays, which is crazy. Goodbyes is a top 3 favorite single for me this year. It's just a great song. But oh man, Post Malone is great. 3 albums, 3 phenomenal ones. This has been a good year for music. The top 10 favorite songs is going to be a tough one. I'm about to make that one right for this one. But number 5, I have The Search. Number 4, I have Igor. 3 is Jesus is King. 2 is When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? And 1 is Hollywood's Bleeding. Let me know if you agree or disagree with any of these picks and comment what your favorite album of the year was. Peace out. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more videos like this.